Taking off for about a week and a half, so it's going to be a while until I get another video out here, so I shut my AC off. I'm going to be taking some time off for about a week and a half, going on vacation, so you probably won't see a video here for maybe a couple weeks, knowing the way that I publish content. So one of the quick ways, and I'm leaving tomorrow, lots of stuff still to do, got to finish packing. So one of the things I thought was, well, let me get a quick video out and let's make it a variety video, sort of like a variety newsletter that you might get, something that is, if you're in the WordPress space, you're very familiar with these WordPress newsletters. They give you some WordPress information, and then they also give you some general news and marketing or market information that's out there. So I'm going to talk about a couple of things that I found interesting in at least the last couple of weeks. I went to HubSpot's Inbound conference last week. The company I work for, Paige Lee, sent me up there to meet and greet some folks and talk to some folks. It was a pretty overwhelming event, at least for me anyway. 22,000 to 24,000 people that were there. I remember HubSpot Inbound when I went to it years and years ago, and there was like 1,000 people there. And even at that capacity, I was like, wow, there's just so much going on, 20 times that now. It's pretty amazing. It's almost breathtaking to see a company like HubSpot, where they came from, see where they're at now. And one of the takeaways that I had from this conference was just the evidence of the changing marketing and market inbound sales world, right? And number one, HubSpot is a company that coined inbound, right? They took that term and turned it into a marketing hype term, and then just coined all around that, coined all of the sort of technologies and their platforms and the whole process around inbound marketing. And now they're trying to do away with the word funnel and replace it with the word flywheel. Now, I find that kind of interesting. I'm hoping to link up the blog article in the comments below so that you can see that. And I'd love to hear what you think about getting rid of the funnel and focusing on the flywheel. I find that to be a challenging term, even for a super smart company like HubSpot to coin, whereas they were able to do that with inbound. I don't know if they're able to do this with the flywheel, to make that such a ubiquitous term. I understand the concept, the idea of the funnel, sort of just feeling old and just sort of feeling archaic in the sense of, look, the customer comes to your site, they opt into your email, now they're in this funnel, and then what steps along the way do you sort of convert that customer? Whereas in HubSpot's new flywheel mechanism, they're saying that, look, times are changing, right? You can get a customer to go to your website and convert, but that's the way they used to do it. Now they go to your Instagram stories, or it's a referral, or it's word of mouth. It's somebody who leaves an organization using your product, and they bring it to the next organization, and they say, hey, you should buy this service from this person. They do a really good job. So how do you really track that? Is that person really in your funnel? And again, with all the content platforms that are out there, how do you even focus on that? So the flywheel is a way to allow your existing media and ads and marketing to exist, your social and your email newsletter and your podcast and your videos to exist, and engaging customers in new ways, and having that all be this inertia or this force that creates a sale. Kind of interesting. I'd love to know what you think. If times are changing for you, do you even think of the funnel? Did you get past the funnel? What does the flywheel look like to you? A video that I watched recently of Gary Vaynerchuck. If you haven't followed Gary yet, maybe you should. It's totally up to you. It's the volume of Gary that can burn somebody out. He was talking to either a small business owner or maybe even a medium-sized business owner. Not quite sure who this gentleman was, but the guy was just asking him about, like, how do I compete with content? What do I do with content? So, Gary opens up his YouTube and he says, like, look, you posted 4 days ago and then 4 days before that, and you're not engaging in these comments. He's like, you really have to just hit content. And like, his head was sort of like exploding. My head was sort of exploding, because I'm just like, I'm worried where all of this content goes. How does a small brand or a business owner or even a consultant keep up with the demand of content? Are we going to hit a content wall at some point? Is the content bubble going to burst? What are we doing with all this content? I mean, I feel forced to put out stuff once a week, and other people are putting out every single day. Gary says he's trying to put out 5 times a day. Like, I get it, but I don't know. I don't know where that balance is, but it does, frighten me to say, like, wow, how much content does a small business owner have to put out? And does a brand that spends more, do they just beat out everybody? I mean, I guess that's the way it's always been, but what do we do with content to the point where people stop even watching YouTube and listening to podcasts? Like, what is next after that? Maybe it goes full circle and brings it right back to face-to-face and having a real relationship with the customer. I don't know. I'd love to get your thoughts on that below. Let me know. Listen, if I were somebody starting a content marketing business, like if I was a consultant out there, I would just make a website that linked up every single one of Gary's videos and just had like a little case study of each and how you can implement the same thing he's talking about, but for like 10 times less money. Until, of course, you build up a portfolio enough, and then you can charge what Gary's charging and have somebody follow you around and create videos all day. Number 3, it's Casey Neistat. And I mentioned him before on the channel, but the idea is I follow a lot of YouTube creators because I'm generally interested to just watch how they create content. Like people who are really good storytellers, people who can do some really fun like cinematography stuff. People who can do really good things with a camera. So in this recent video, he sort of touched upon the Elon Musk and Joe Rogan interview. I actually had that queued up to go on my flight down to Florida. But the idea of how much social media impacts the confidence level and the desires and the ambitions of folks in a negative light. This is sort of paraphrasing what Elon was getting at. And Casey's sort of offering up, the stuff that I put out, I mean, maybe it's impacting people too. And he sort of urged folks who are watching his channel and other, YouTubers or looking at other Instagrammers and saying, look at this stuff objectively. Make sure you're doing it from a light that is just like entertainment value only. Don't look at my life and try to mimic that or aspire to be that in just what you see on the surface, because there's a lot of stuff below that people don't post on social. And we've seen this with the iceberg concept, where all you see is the tip of the iceberg, but underneath the water there's all of these problems. I know many of you are looking at me like, man, how do you put out such great content, Matt? A podcast, a YouTube channel, sometimes you blog. Not really. I haven't blogged in about a year. But, it's all surface level stuff. I'm doing this within the gaps of time that I have. I have a lot of colleagues out there where I look at them and like, man, I wish I could be like that. I wish I could have a content calendar. I wish I could do all this other stuff and block out time and be really succinct with my content. But I don't know what else is going on in their lives. For me, this is what works. I'm actually shooting this video for a second time because I forgot to plug in my microphone the first time I shot. I don't even know if it's plugged in right now. It's on. It's powered on. It was on. Look, the point is to approach social media cautiously, I guess. Don't get wrapped up in what these other marketers are doing and how much money somebody else is making. I've talked about this before, so I won't go on a rant about it. Just make sure you're not associating yourself to things that are negatively impacting you on your Instagram feed or your YouTube channel. And maybe you switch subscribing to these big name creators and follow somebody else who's a little bit smaller. Which brings me to my last tip today, 4 or 5, I can't even remember. A gentleman named Gerald Undone. He puts out a pretty good channel for technology reviews, but more importantly for photo and video tutorials and camera reviews and different things that you might associate with video production. I call myself a camera fanatic, but I don't really own a lot. I just read and research a lot of cameras. In fact, shooting it on my new lens that I purchased for my vacation, it's the Sony 18-105, attaches right up to my Sony a6500. In my last videos, I was shooting this all on a Sigma 30 1.4. And I like to follow these creators to learn how to use these cameras and to do fun stuff and to understand the different lighting and lenses and cameras that are available out there. Always searching for that perfect YouTubing camera, which I guess doesn't exist. But Gerald Undone does a great job. He's funny, he's entertaining, he has a certain style that I really appreciate, and seems to be like a pretty nice guy. I tweet to him every now and again on Twitter. I comment on his videos. I was there when he was around 1,500 subscribers, I want to say, and now he's just over 7,000. Just got invited to a Fuji camera conference or press event, which I found to be pretty awesome for small YouTube creators who are just starting out. You sort of see the content that they put out, and then they get burned out. And he actually is one who's talked about this stuff before and sort of gave his channel a new direction, a new lease on life, and he seems to be really enjoying it. Again, at the surface level, that's what I see. I can just tell by the cadence and the tone and the content that he's putting out that he seems to be enjoying it and getting invited to a press event. That's pretty good for somebody who's just sort of pivoted a little bit on his channel. So kudos to Gerald, and if you're interested in camera stuff and learning how to do YouTube a little bit better, maybe give him a follow and you'll find that you like him. That's all I have in this video. Like I said, just a really quick video recap of things that I found interesting, maybe some useful tips and advice over the last couple weeks. I'm gonna be taking a vacation. I'll see you in a couple weeks. Subscribe to the channel if you like this video, thumbs up. We'll see you in the next video.